And we are on for this game in the Men's Super League. We have Bedford Mighty Eagles against London Storm's first team now. So there have been some attacks in this game, and we are level on players at both sides. So on paper, this should be an easier game for London Storm, having come third in Men's Super League last season. Whereas Bedford Mighty Eagles are a new addition to Super League, having come first in League One. And Bedford Mighty Eagles already playing a game so far today with a loss against Bedford Rangers in the Bedford Derby. And Storm taking the win against Manchester Bees earlier in the day. So a couple more attacks, and it is still level on players here in this first set of this game. Now, London Storm have gained Finley Britnell Craven this season from Leamington Spartans. Bedford Mighty Eagles, fairly consistent lineup from last season. Oh, and a lovely hit there from Eagles on Ndumbe. So still level on players. And a lovely dodge there. A lovely hit there from Eagles on the left winger, and then numerous attacks there. Does end up being one player advantage to Eagles, and then a hit there from Storm on the right winger. So it is a 1v1 now in this first set of this game. So block there from Eagles. Another block comes up for the attack. Low jumped over. Oh no, hit called. There we go.
What he did really well there was he went for the hit when it was an open target. There was no ball to block with, and managed to secure that counter hit.
Yeah, so I think there were more balls available for Eagles, so maybe a bit of an issue with the retriever, because they could have been stood up court to pass that ball in, so he had a blocking opportunity. But
I would always rather have the ball in my hand than out off court with the ball retriever. There's a hit and a catch there at the start, I think. No, just the catch.
No, just the catch, yeah.
4-ball attack. 2 come at Fowler, but he does a fantastic sidestep to the left to get out of the way.
So a very strong start for Eagles. I mean, I know they've lost that first set, but it was level pretty much all the way.
They really came back quite well against Rangers in their first match back in the Super League. Will they have fine-tuned for this match against London Storm? Face shot from Ndumbe against his England teammate Arnie there. And now we're down to 4v4.
Nice little hop there from Ndumbe, and then the hit.
Ndumbe firing hot here. You like a hot Ndumbe? Yes. Emily's loving that one. So Storm with a 1-player advantage in the second frame here at St George's Park in the Men's Super League. Fantastic little toe snapper from Laverty on number 7 of Bedford Eagles. Takes a walk to the outbox, 4v2. Fantastic cross-court from Gower there, wasn't it?
Yeah, so Gower moved for Bedford Mighty Eagles from Nighthawks for this season.
2-ball attack, and the second one just getting on top of him. He made himself nice and small and tried to block out in front, but there was one that just sort of skipped over the top of that, hit him on the noggin. 3v2, single ball wasted.
Yeah, wasn't going to hit anybody. Gives 4 balls to Storm. Yeah. And the three-ball release.
You saw a little delay there. Why did they do that, do you think, Emily?
Yeah, so that's just to try and get the player to move. It's especially good if they jump, because once you're in the air, there's no way you can go, and then you can just get that delayed ball and hit them on the way down. So
perfect, that's exactly it. And they did force the jump with the 2-ball attack, and he did make the hit as he was going down, thanks to gravity.
God, can you imagine how much easier dodgeball would be if we didn't have gravity?
Oh, I'd be up for a game of 0G dodgeball. Anderson with a single ball down the middle, unable to reach target. Bedford Eagles coming up, pressing the court, lots of fakes on their way up. And it's Arnie with the hit on Finn, down the wing. Storm with the 3-ball press, released from Ndumbe. After throw comes at him, and he's just hit on his hand, I think, as he tries to throw himself to the floor backwards. And so Bedford Eagles maintain a 1-player advantage. Gordon hits Fowler there, and a fantastic running counter up the right-hand side of the court by Laverty to get 1 player back. 2 balls in at the wing, unsuccessful block, so a 3v3.
Yeah, two unsuccessful blocks there from Eagles. Need to look at that, make sure that they're being consistent, and if they're really struggling with those blocks, because again, another is that if you are blocking, you are still in the same place, and if you're not being successful at it, it's a pretty easy hit. So, as I've said before, blocking's a trap. So if you're not being successful, you need to look at movement instead. It is ultimately dodgeball.
Some high court action there from Gordon, but there's no hits made, and the status quo remains. That is 3 players for Storm, 2 for Bedford Eagles, and Storm have 4 balls. They're going to come up with 3. They're going to release 1. It hits on the toes.
Lovely hit there.
Well done, Anderson, 33. Gordon with sidestep and some nice movement there, but he's only got 2 balls, so he's thinking about it again. He's going to the back of the court, taking a more defensive position. Pre-throw comes in. Anderson ducks underneath.
So play ball is called.
That means they need to release at least 2. The second one he catches, the third one hits. Oh,
and a hit.
Counter from Laverty, put it into the ground, 1v1. High ball blocked by Laverty there. And the burden is upon him. He's taking his time, catching his breath.
Nice movement there.
Getting down low, making himself a small target, right?
Yeah.
Same with Laverty there.
Yeah, and you can see both players ensuring that they've got a second ball in their hands, so that when they release, they've still got 1 to block with. But all this time, he's got it caught without it. Ooh, nice sideways movement there.
Fantastic ball retrieving from William on the side there, feeding the balls directly into Sam's hands. And that set finishes 1 player versus 1 player at the end of 3 minutes, so the points are split evenly.
Yep, so that's the first point on the board now for Eagles, so it takes us to 5-1. And the referee is just having a brief word with Fowler. I think asking him to calm down a little bit.
Oh yeah. About 6.5 minutes left in this half. We'll play as many 3-minute sets within that time as we can.
Oh, a lovely block from Eagles, but unfortunately straight into Gower.
Midder looking active on the wing there, getting forced back, and Ndumbe making the hit on the inside wing.
So yeah, Eagles coming up for the attack. Central hit, lovely.
Straight down the middle.
Does go for the catch, but he just can't keep his hands on it.
Well, it hit him on the knee, I think, and that's a difficult area to catch against because it's so hard. Oh, and Ndumbe and Josiah out now. England teammates on opposing teams. Storm up by a single player. Cross court comes in. Goes in front of the Bedford Eagles winger as they look to do a 3-ball press. Single ball release from the middle.
Oh,
Caught by
catch.
Anderson this time as he hops away to the left. What did you think of that one?
Yeah, that was good. It was great. It was, you know, it was a little bit to his side, but he moved his body into it. He didn't just try and stick his hands out into it. Oh, and then a lovely hit through the block there. So all of a sudden, we've now got a 4-player advantage for Storm.
They're going to look to double counter here.
And a lovely hit.
That was fantastically timed, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And they communicated on the way up, which
Yeah.
is textbook, really.
Yeah, yeah. And a lovely tracking of the movement, because Bedford Mighty Eagles dropped low and then both players got that low hit. It was just maybe a little bit too soon on the dodge there. So 7-1 now to Storm.
They lose the runoff for the middle ball, meaning Bedford Eagles come forward with a 3-ball press. They're going to release from the right-hand side.
Yeah, nice
Arnie
dodge
going
in
inside, trying to hit Fowler, but he tucks his arms out of the way at the last second, doesn't go fishing. Block on the right-hand side, and Dumbe trying to attack the winger. 6v6 still, Emily.
Yeah. So 3 balls to Storm, come for the attack. Single ball thrown, misses. Single ball back, blocked by Ndumbe.
Little sidestep, all that was needed. Sheehan not on target that time, really.
Yeah. Both players, both teams. Oh, I was going to say both teams go for central targets, but just as I'm saying that, go for a
Switch
winger.
it up. You don't want to be too predictable, especially when you've got active, threatening players on the wings, such as Britnell Craven on the left-hand side for London Storm.
Yeah. Gower trying for the drop catch there, but just not quite getting there.
And I've seen this in the first match. When Bedford Eagles have 1 ball, it goes to their number 7 in the middle, and he really exposes himself. But do you know what happened in the first game? He got hit with 2 balls on the ground, and they made 2 ricochet catches.
Oh, wow.
So
I mean,
maybe there is something to it, this 1-ball defence from the middle.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those things.
First ball hit on Ndumbe on the legs, I think. Nope, ref's called bounce.
Oh, hit called by a different ref, so there we go. Oh, no. So, we're going to have a bit of discussion, because obviously...
Different line refs seeing different things
Yeah.
there. For my money, I think it was a little hit on the toes of Stephen Dumbe, number 26 there, is it, for Storm? Fantastic new kit design where I can't read the second number.
Yeah.
Well done, whoever's come up with that.
Yep.
It's too dark on that inside,
Yeah.
so can't see. But there we go, a storm is coming. What are you going to do about it?
So, it's all level now in this set.
But London Storm have a commanding lead in the match. Nice athletic hop over the throw from the middle, and there's a counter. Britnell Craving jumping over 2 counters,
Yeah.
throwing himself to the ground.
Yeah, odd to not go for number 35 there for Storm. He was on the floor, whereas Britnell Craven was up the court with the ball to block with, but I guess I know that number 35 also very good at taking a catch on the floor, so difficult choices sometimes when everyone's really good.
Successful pre-throw in on Fowler to level things up there by the winger of Bedford Eagles. 3-ball attack on Sheehan, who does a fantastic little leap inside the wing, gets out of the way of all of them, and he sets his team up for an attack. They're going to release 1, 2, 3 single balls at the
Yes.
wing. Poor form there.
Yeah, you really want if you're going to release that many balls, you want them all coming at the same time so that you can make the hits. Otherwise, it's fairly easy to block them all. And then, interesting again from Bedford Eagles, throwing 3, but at 2 different targets.
Yeah, it looked like at the end of the set there with their experienced male player Josiah off, they didn't know where they were throwing or when.
Yeah.
And it's really crucial, I think, when you're going for a winger who has a ball in their hands to put 2 at the same time on that person, because it's easy enough to block a single ball coming at you.
So 8-2 now to London Storm.
Play 2 called at the wing. There's a hit on Lavity, which popped up for a catch for number 13. Bedford Eagles, 1 player up, but they've only got the 1 ball now. Can Storm come through with a hit? Yes, they can. And Dumbe thinking about going for the ricochet catch off Gordon there, but didn't go for it. Doesn't matter. They've tied things up. Of course, a catch would have brought back in Lavity.
Yeah.
Fantastic pre-throw across the court by Josiah, but he opens himself up for the cover shot from Britnell Craven.
Yeah. So 2 Eagles lost in that exchange.
And loose with possession, yet again, Bedford Eagles.
Yeah, giving
This
away
could
5.
be the match turning against them now.
And there's time.
So
Half
does
time.
with that final 2 points going to London Storm, does that make it 10-2?
Yes, 10-2 now going into the second half.
What did you see in the first half that you would look to improve if you were on the coaching team of Bedford Eagles?
So yeah, for me, it's when they're coming up for their group throws, and there's a threat from London Storm, you can see that they falter, they stop, and essentially they're not bitting their fakes in, so it's fairly easy for Storm to read where it's coming from, so they're not being very effective on their group throws, essentially. So they need to kind of, it is difficult, you're coming up to Super League, and you're against a higher caliber of teams. Sometimes you get intimidated, but they've got to try and work through that so they can make their game more effective.
Brilliant. And for London Storm, if you were the coach in this timeout right now, Emily, what would you be saying to the men going into the second half?
Just keep doing what you're doing. Don't let the momentum get away from you, because it's quite easy sometimes when you get a commanding lead in a game that you start going for some stupid things because you're like, well, it doesn't matter, I can risk stuff a bit more because, well, we're already winning, but then that sometimes can change it and give the momentum to the team. And while it might not matter here, it's also important to remember that you have got a whole season ahead of yourselves, and if you start getting into those habits in the second half, they can sometimes carry over to your other games. So it's all about keeping your heads, keeping the control, and keeping your gameplay in mind, rather than just kind of going, hey, we already win it, let's just have a bit of fun.
So listen, Emily, you're an experienced player, played for England and Great Britain. What would you say are some bad habits that young dodgeball players could pick up, and what would you do to correct those?
So one, it's that we tend to be really good in dodgeball at remembering everything we've done really well. And a lot of people forget what they've done not well. So you tend to, you tend to see a lot of players, they'll repeat the same mistake because maybe like 1 time out of 10 it worked and it paid off for them, and they remember that 1 out of 10 time more than they remember the 9 out of 10 times it's gone badly. And it's one of those things that comes from that endorphin rush, and it's kind of one of those things that you need to stop. And always, for me, I always try and go back at the footage if there's footage available and see and really tie myself down to that and be like, okay, that was a really good thing, but actually it didn't pay off, and I really should actually stop doing that or improve on it. And that's the thing, is it's really easy to get stuck in a set gameplay doing the same things, and the worst thing about dodgeball is becoming predictable, because then players know exactly how to play against you, particularly when you get to the higher levels. So it's all about ensuring that you're changing your gameplay and you're very adaptable.
Especially when it comes to your dodging.
Yes.
You go up, then you go down, then you go up and down and side to side.
Yep.
You mix it up so they don't know where you're going.
Exactly.
Second half underway now. London Storm just about winning the third ball, but it's popped off loose at the top of court. Josiah blocks one up. Gordon alive to the ricochet catch.
Yeah, that's really good. I've seen quite a few teams today just not looking out for those ricochet catches and missed out a few times on a catch that they could have easily taken.
Fantastic little hop over the cross-court ball by Ndumbe then. Storm coming up with the 3-ball press, single ball released at Josiah. He manages to block it out to the side. His ball retriever now puts it back into Gordon, number 12. Fantastic lateral movement and a little duck of the head by Lavity to get out of the way of that. Did you see how much of the court he covered there?
Yeah,
he was right by his winger, and then he was right in the middle of the court.
And it's also, it's not just a side-to-side movement, it's a side with a down, and that's the thing. trying to do two dimensions, like up and down and left and right, is so much better than just picking one of them.
Absolutely. And you better listen to what Emily's saying, guys. She's a pro.
Oh, lovely hit there from Lav on Gordon.
Bit of a lazy sidestep from Gordon, though.
Yeah.
5v5. Single ball release down the middle. No hit. Storm
Nice
press the
fakes.
court, but actually come back to make a 3-ball call. They'll probably come up and release one. Where's it coming from? The middle? No, from the right, but it goes cross court, unable to secure a hit.
Yeah, I always find that's really good. If we as commentators can't figure out where the ball's coming from, then you definitely know that players on court aren't knowing where that release is coming from either. So 4 balls now to Storm. Again, we've seen it before. Wilkins coming up with a centre ball. Oh!
Clean hit on the toes by Laverty.
Yeah.
Fantastic accuracy.
So for me, it's interesting because that's a very foam-based tactic. You'll tend to see in foam that you might do that, and you're essentially sending up somebody that's very good at dodging to try and get ball retention. And I'm not sure.
Well, what he did well is he separated their throws.
Yes.
So, like, rather than like attacking him with 2 balls, like you should do, as we've discussed, when you have 1 ball to block, then they actually released a couple of singles at him, and he dodged the first one, but the second one was deadly accurate.
Yeah.
And it's difficult, I think, when you're in the middle. This is why it doesn't make sense to me, because you got to use a whole lot of peripheral vision. They're coming at you from both sides, whereas if you're on one wing, you can see where it's coming from a lot easier.
And there's also, like, if you have a potential sort of danger that you're blocking a different player's view, and that they could potentially, you could dodge, and then somebody behind you gets hit.
Yeah. End of 3 minutes there. London Storm comfortably taking it.
Yeah.
Most of their players left on court. Bedford Eagles, only the 2. So they're going up and extending their lead to 12-2.
Yeah. But for me, the one thing that is good is it's nice to see a different tactic. Because, you know, sometimes we can end up just doing this, everyone's doing the same tactics, the same gameplay, slightly differently, but this, you know, it's nice to see people trying to develop new ways of playing.
Yeah, certainly entertaining. Gonna give them that much. And if you're coming up into the division as a new team, yeah, why not try something different? Pressure's on you to stay up. First hit made by London Storm. They're up by 1 player now.
Ooh. Oh!
Josiah just blocking up Britnell Craven's
Yeah.
ball into a catch.
It was interesting. There was a split moment before Britnell Craven threw that Josiah wasn't paying attention, and then Britnell Craven delayed slightly, which actually meant that he then looked forward and knew that it was coming. And essentially, maybe if he'd thrown a half a second sooner, Josiah wouldn't even have known that ball was coming.
Yep, the move would have been to have gone sooner or not at all, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, time stoppage again to mop up bit of sweat that we've got on court. Obviously a bit of a health and safety issue because players can fall if they slip on it.
Play recommences with all players touching the back of the court, and they now step on, and we are back in action.
So Eagles 1 player up. Oh, very lucky there from Gordon. He jumps and they throw high, and he just manages to bob his head out of the way.
Running counter.
Oh,
Pops up off
lovely.
Arnie. Gower leaps forwards to make a catch, and then just chest passes it into number 13 for Storm. So Bedford Eagles coming out well on top there. Really good live to the game from Gower there.
Yeah.
And Bedford Eagles taking home the ball advantage there by getting out Mr. Ndumbe of London Storm, the big danger man. They've done really well here. Now the single ball goes in to number 7, and number 2 Josiah tries to get out of the way. protected himself somewhat.
Yeah.
So it's a definite tactic we're seeing here,
Yeah.
giving Wilkins the one ball.
Yeah. Oh! Wow. I mean, that was good placement from Josiah, but it just stuck behind Laverty's ball.
Yeah, a bit of a lucky catch, perhaps, that one.
Yeah.
Single ball to Wilkins again. Can't block the first one that comes in. I think it's time for him to try something different there. You saw him on the wing that time, but yeah, not so good. Oh, blocked up and into the air across.
Yeah.
Can Storm find a way back? They're only one player down now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I do always forget that Eagles have this tactic, which they did use in League One a lot last season, and we'll see if it continues to pay off in this league. When they throw and the winger throws the single ball on the backtrack, if the middle player is still holding a ball, they pass it to the winger on the backtrack.
Okay, well that's something you see in the mixed game, isn't it, Emily? Whereby you perhaps have wingers who are more valuable to the team than perhaps inside players, and once they throw, if they perhaps have a big arm, you want to protect that player a bit more. Then the player who has not thrown on the retreat will pass it across to them so that they have the ball to block, and the middle player is the one who is the open target.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things that I think potentially if teams get hot onto it in Super League, is that potentially you could be looking out for it, and then once that winger is distracted from trying to catch the ball that's being passed to them, it is a fairly easy hit there. So we'll see. It's one of those things that sometimes it seems a bit obvious, a way to get around a team's tactics, but that doesn't necessarily mean that anybody takes advantage of it.
Yeah. Timeout called by London Storm.
So I believe the score is 12-6 because Eagles won that set and they've not updated the score board.
So that's a 6-point advantage, which would be 3 sets.
Yep.
Is it possible? Can they do it?
It is possible. I think it's one of those things like Eagles have just got to be completely on it. They can't afford to make any mistakes.
Yeah. So possible, but not perhaps the most plausible.
Yes. But otherwise, as I've been saying all day, like set difference can really make the difference at the end of the season, particularly when you're coming down to relegation battles and even winning the league, is that set difference can make all the difference. So the closer they can make this game, the better for them. Whew. Nice block there. I thought Gower was going to end up in the firing line from that block again, but
The
just
powerful shot from Laverty down the wing there. Single ball from Briggs, number 13, coming inside to attack London Storm, but there's no hit made. 6v6.
That's nice to see that Bedford Mighty Eagles are holding a really high line there with the wingers, and that's difficult to do, particularly when you're coming up against these teams and it's easy to get intimidated. So that's nice to see that they're holding their ground and they're really trying to put the pressure on.
Single ball hit from Ndumbe, and then there's a trade Anderson for Gower, but it's London Storm who come out on top. They are 5 players v4 up. 2-ball attack on Ndumbe, sees him get hit out. We've just paused time, I think, to get the mop out.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we should get some official British dodgeball mops, because I believe at the moment we're using Macaulay's towel, which, you know, is not going to be very pleasant to take home at the end of the day. So we've got Rutland on in this set. I think it's the first set he's played of this game.
Of this match. However, he got on towards the end of their opening Super League fixture. All the balls fired at Josiah was clinical. Storm take an advantage from that. However, they have no balls to defend with now.
Yeah, so
3-ball attack
yeah.
on Laverty. Lies down. on the ground. They can't touch him.
Yeah. It's surprising how well lying down works.
It's about changing your silhouette, isn't it, Emily?
Yeah.
So if you're standing up on the left-hand side of court, that's where you don't want your silhouette to be by the time the balls reach you. You need to have moved, forcing the other team to track your dodge, forcing them to make a good hit. 4v3 to Storm here. Single ball early on Briggs, wasn't expecting that, broke his block.
Yeah. So, 2 players down now, Eagles. Early release on Lav, but he's so good at getting low and blocking. Two-ball attack, but again, nice sideways movement. Maybe a little bit out of time. Oh, and yeah, line fault there from Wilkins.
Just from faking at him.
Yeah. It's devastating when it happens to you, but it's very satisfying when you feel like you're so scary that you've managed to scare somebody off court.
And that enabled them to take their possession advantage, having 4 balls, and finish off the match by clearing out Bedford Eagles team, taking out the final player, Rutland, and putting the match beyond them, I would say now.
Yeah. Although, I was sure that Eagles had won a set, so but the score has been put down as 14-4, so. Oh, lovely hit there. Nice 2-ball release on Lav. The second one slightly delayed, but just manages to get him on after his movement.
Good tracking, because he made himself a small target.
Oh, then Briggs is really trying to injure himself here. He keeps dodging into his teammates at the moment at the back of court.
Little whisper high up the court to make the call there. There was an exchange between Haldeni and Ndumbe. No, just a hit on Haldeni, sorry.
Oh, yeah, Briggs, he jumps, and then he's got no choice there except to try and catch the ball that's coming at him. And again, another jump, again, stuck in the air. Only choice he's got is just to try and catch it. It's one of those things that there are some amount of movement that you can do in the air. You know, you can bob your head a little bit, move an arm, move a leg, but if it's coming at your centre mass, there's nothing you can do about it. So we are level. 3 balls to Eagles. 2-ball attack on Ndumbe. Dodges and blocks. And then a 2-ball attack on Josiah. Make the hit. So 1 player advantage to Storm now. Wilkins and Rutland left in. But again, Wilkins looking for the catch, but...
He's looking to go for a catch. He should have set himself a little bit earlier there.
Yeah. So, Rutland's going to be looking for the catch here. Storm are going to be looking to put it
above his head.
That's absolutely beautiful there from Fowler. But then does go for the catch that he doesn't need, but it's fine because Ndumbe finishes off the set. And I'm pretty sure Rutland was already off court.
Yeah.
So, 16-4 now in this game. This is a short set, so it should be the final set. Nice cross court there from Josiah on to Laverty, but then, oh, lovely
side
throw.
steps, but then fishes like where he just was.
Yeah.
So he's annoyed with himself for that one.
Yeah, he needed to make a choice, and instead he kind of...
Got caught in 2 minds.
Yeah.
Oh! Little butterfly flap off court there. That was comical.
Yeah, it's one of those moments you're really hoping that one of your teammates is paying attention so they can pull you back on court.
Teammate mocking him with the arm flap as well. Oh well, we could have a little bit of fun in this final frame because they've already tied up the match. It's 4v4. Bedford Eagles with 4 balls. Early pre-throw for Ndumbe. He's split up their throws against him. He's actually made the hit with the pre-throw. So he's done really well then.
And then dodges 2 afterwards.
The purpose of his pre-throw there was to put the other opposition team off and make them not throw together in unison. And it did its job remarkably well.
Yeah. So Eagles are only 1 player down, but 2-ball attack, but again, dodge and a block, and then Wilkins.
He's fantastic at leaping over one and blocking the other, isn't he?
Yeah.
Really athletic player. Definitely a fan favourite.
Oh, there was, Briggs maybe looking for the double counter there, but then sees Ndumbe up court with a ball and decides to reset and go for the 2-ball throw, but no hit made. Again, Ndumbe just managing to dodge and block out the way.
He's been pretty safe when he's been on the ball this match.
Yeah.
Nice little sidestep from Briggs. Blasts Fowler up high up court. Fowler had already taken out Rudland though, so the advantage remains with London Storm. In fact, it's increased. Briggs only 1 player now. Much more difficult to turn things around when you're by yourself.
Yeah, and obviously Storm will be looking to do what they did earlier. They won't want to give him the catch, so they'll be making it really difficult for him.
What are you saying, 1 ball over his head?
Yeah.
There it is.
Go.
And another. Perhaps there was a play ball from the refs there, which would have meant they had to release 2. Briggs going for the single ball.
Yeah, but
down the right-hand side. Not a bad shout.
Yeah, but Anderson's already set. He's on his knees. He's waiting for that one. So I'd probably try and hit him in the shoulders.
Yes, you want to hit him outside the catching zone that is your sort of bread basket that I would say is like between your thighs and your chest when you're set down on the ground like that.
Yeah. So that was a short set, but they managed to finish it fairly quickly. So now there'll be a 1.5 minute set.
Free throw from Josiah hits Fowler out as he ducks at the top of court, but then there's a ricochet catch by his teammate, sending him to the outbox.
And another stoppage to wipe up some sweat. So yeah, so fairly unlucky there for Josiah. It was a nice hit, but that's just the way it goes. Sometimes balls pop up. So 1 player down, Eagles, but they've given 4 balls away now. So the advantage really is with Storm. And Wilkins is going to come up again for the middle.
So high up, he got almost to the neutral zone there.
Now he does take out Ndumbe, who is a big threat. But he is taken out in the process, but it's one of those things that maybe early on in the set it's worth it to take out one of their high caliber players, but there's a catch there.
Midder getting caught out with a cross-court ball. The good thing about those types of balls is that they might not be expected, but the harder thing is it's further away, so perhaps it's easier to catch.
Yep.
Bit of chaos at the end there, but I think it's Storm who come out on top. There might have been a double hit, but there was definitely a catch as well, so depending on what was called there, I think they'll have more than a 1-player advantage and win this set.
There's 10 seconds left. So not a lot of time for Eagles to do much here.
And it's just a 1-player advantage, so they could turn it around.
Yeah, but they
got one final
need
play.
a hit now.
Are they going to release 2? Early pre-throw hits Gower, catch, and then a hit. So Storm are up. Yes, and it's
there
done.
We go. And that is game. So I believe the end score is 22-4.
A comprehensive victory for London Storm.
Yep, so that gives Storm 2 wins now on day 1 and Eagles 2 losses.
Difficult coming up to the Super League. There's no easy games in it anymore. And Eagles definitely feeling that. So Emily Busby, it's been a pleasure. I'm going to go get some ice, mate.
That's fine. So next on court 1, we are going to have Derby Phantoms against London Storm 2. And hopefully, Jonathan is coming to do the commentary. Enjoy.